Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. Thanks so much for coming today. We're taking a little sidestep from our usual, from our ongoing series about things to make for the fall. And we're going to be talking about a type of card called a layered card. There's one of a few examples that I'm going to show you. And just as far as the files are concerned, here's one that's not this ornate thing, but it's a snowflake, and then this one is flowers, right? The thing about these cards is a couple of them, they're all in Design Space, and I'll give you that Design Space file, but the ones that are Anna Griffin, these ones you'll have to pay for if you haven't already purchased the images. So when you go to open up this file, you'll see these two that are you have to pay for, and they are not part of the subscription service. None of the designer stuff is usually, so they're not part of Access, even though Access is pretty the depth and breadth of the Access is huge now, but this one here, the snowflake, and this one here, which is like a layered floral, these two will be part of Cricut Access, and so they're free to cut. These two will not. But I needed to show you them because, to be honest, I think that Anna does these layered cards the best. They are really beautiful. They usually have, I think it's 5. They have 5. They have the outside edge. This is the white outside edge. And then they have the inside edge where you can put a sentiment here. And then they have, in addition to those, they have 1, 2, 3, at least 3 layers. And I'm just going to get in real close so you can see how they're basically handling shading with these layers. It's really a wonderful technique. I wouldn't want to be the designer on that because it would probably blow my mind how to do that. But this is layering, and again, these are from our designer friend Anna Griffin, and she's just fabulous, and she's very good at that, at layering. This one here from Cricut Access, the snowflake that I did in those new winter colors of purples and lilac and jade, maybe a jade. But then also for our friend who's retiring, in my local group, we made this nice little floral one. And again, here's the thing, you choose every single item to make these with, and this one's a very good example. I didn't use just plain cardstock. I used a glitter layer, and I thought that really lent itself to being very snowflake-like. So you can do the same with these as well. You do not have to use a solid color. You can use a patterned or perhaps a glitter paper, or maybe like the, I'm trying to think, the cardstock, like the brushed cardstock, or yeah, that would look great. The holographic cardstock, that craft board, it's called craft board. Sorry, I had a little mental forget, whatever. A senior moment. I had a senior moment. So anyway, you can make these, dress these up all you'd like, and the only thing you have to be careful about is the thickness. So that's what we're going to go over is not how to cut these or what to choose for your backgrounds or the layers, but really how to put it together so that it stays together, it looks professional, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So stay with me and we'll go over this. So we're talking about how to assemble these lovely layered cards, and most layered cards I think are about 4 or 5 layers thick. If you're using regular cardstock, that can lead to a pretty thick card. So if you can see here, there is a deep green. That's the interior color, and the white is the exterior color. And then down, if you get real close, you can see that there is a sandstone color, and then there's also this green, and is that 1, 2? I think that be 5 layers. 1, 2, maybe it's 4. Let me check on this one. This one has gray, and we got the white overlay, but we got the gray, and then the deeper gray, and the light gray, and the white. So, okay, 4. But even still, 4, it makes for a bit of a thick card, the front of the card. Now, what I have learned over the years is that when you attach the inner part, which, by the way, you can put your own sentiment here with using your Cricut pen, just like we use the Cricut pen for the front of this. But when you attach the back and the inside together, it kind of makes it more difficult, and I feel like it's less professional. So I always leave these 2 layers unattached. And then what I do, the next step that I do, so I've cut out, this is my interior piece, and this is my exterior piece. That's the one that has the most intricacy, okay? And then you have a series of layers that are less and less cut out. So you've got this. This is your most detailed part. That's the outside. And then the next one is this lighter pink. And then here is the darker pink, you see? And then the last one is this beige, right? So when it is complete, and then you got the dark brown. And then when you put the cover, the front, I should say, on it, when it's complete, you have that different color effect. This is different than when you're making a card and you start with a mat and you are putting things on the mat. Very different technique. So you have to almost think working backward to front. So what I do is I usually put the inside and the outside edges aside, and I just work on these three sides. Of course, I take my glue, and this is where this really super tip glue, precision tip glue, comes in handy. So I start here, and I can just put my glue, and be generous, except move it around. Like, don't go cheap on the glue because you're afraid of wrinkles. Just make sure you move your nozzle around a lot more. And then, so we're going to attach the middle layer, sort of like a sandwich. You know how much I love sandwiches, right? So here's our middle layer, and you see what I'm doing? I'm really pressing down. I want that glue to make really good contact. I don't want any lifting. Here, even this, that's not good, and I should go back and glue. But I don't want any lifting among any of these layers. And then here's our next a little more intricate layer, and you do need to go through and make sure you're going to take more time doing this than I am doing to show you, but you're going to do all of these little edges or cuts all around there, and then you take that and you put it the next layer on your sandwich, your card sandwich. You're going to want to make sure that they're all getting lined up, and push and push and push, right? And then comes the outer edge, the part that is the most intricate. This is where you need to be very careful about the gluing, and you need to go around, and this is the time-consuming part, I will admit, and I'm not going to show you how to do the whole thing, but suffice to say that, you know, you could spend, so much time just doing this, and then you think you've got everything, you looked at it, and you go to put the next piece of this puzzle together, and you've missed a spot. That's okay. I'm going to show you how to come back and do that. But so then here is my sandwich going on top, and this is the way I'm assembling it. You notice I'm not putting it, I'm putting it so that they are together at this edge, not at the score line. There's still a little space there, and we want to keep that little space. Again, you're going to spend much more time looking at where you're putting the glue, and you're going to spend much more time putting this together than I am, at least the first couple that you do. All right, so I'm just demonstrating and doing really quickly for you. So then I take my interior piece, again with or without the sentiment, whatever you want to choose, and then I'm going to line this up along the back. And again, glue, 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 but see, no glue here. And you're going to turn it over. This is where I kind of examine it because it's been a couple of minutes to dry. And obviously I did not do a very good job here, but I just want to show you this is what you would do in the event that you missed a layer or corner or a little piece. Sometimes with the little piece, you just, I don't know if you can see this, but you can see, it's not there. So you're just going to put a little tiny bead of glue to hold that in place. And then what I would suggest that you do is you're done with your card. You know, again, I use the pre-made envelopes whenever I make cards because I rather put the time and effort on the card than the envelope. People just rip those. So you know, when you're making these kind of cards, what I do, and your glue is still kind of wet, so I will sit and turn it on its face and continue to just kind of pat it while it dries. You can let it sit there while you get your envelope ready or whatever you want to do if you're making more than one of these. But you can come back and keep looking at it, making sure that you got all of those edges firmly attached to your beautiful card. And that's it. That is a lovely layered card. So folks, that was layered cards. Aren't they fabulous? Again, just so you know, I'm going to be giving you the Design Space file, which is free. Design Space is free software that's created by Cricut and maintained by Cricut. And so I'm going to be giving you that free file. On the file, you'll receive four different cards. 2 of them are available in Cricut Access and are free to use. And the other 2 are not available as part of Cricut Access. So if you want to use them, you'd have to pay for them. Now, just really quickly, to pay, if you're in the middle of doing a project, you can mess around with graphics that you don't own, that maybe you retrieved from Cricut Access. You can mess around with them, change them, make decisions about what you want to cut and whatever. And until you go to purchase, you won't have to pay for them. So if you just want to play, you want to just go into Anna's lovely layered cards, which these are from, you can do that. Just go to your Cricut Design Space, and at the top where you search, you're going to choose cartridges. Cartridges is the old name for an image set, and in those image sets are usually they're grouped by themes. So you'll have things that are like Halloween and Christmas, and then there's occasions. So there's birthdays and just different parties. And then you have the designers. And this designer's named Anna Griffin. You might know her from QVC, I think, or Home, I don't know which, one of those shopping network things. But she is one designer. She makes the most gorgeous rose, mostly rose, but sort of, I would call it shabby chic. And I like that. I like her designs, but the great thing is that she has always worked with the Cricut design team and made her designs available in Cricut Design Space. So you don't have to go out and find these files, right? They're in Cricut. See, they're in Design Space. The information is there, and you don't have to purchase the entire set. So if you only like one card, you can just pay for that one card, and you only pay once, and you only pay when you go to print. I'm sorry, not print. When you go to cut, that is the only time you pay, and that's all done because you have an account with Cricut. And that's why you set up an account. So if you want to pay it, you wanted to buy like an image that was already in Design Space, and but it had a price associated with it. That's why you would have that account where you put your payment information. So just a brief little history of how Cricut tutorial, a brief little tutorial about how Cricut Design Space handles images from designers that are a paid image. So I hope that was helpful. Anyway, tomorrow we are going back to autumn, our autumn themed tutorials and videos, so stay here. If you haven't already, please would you subscribe to my YouTube channel? I know some people are watching this from Facebook, and I appreciate that you're watching it anywhere, honestly, anywhere. But I'm also kind of torn between having a YouTube channel and a Facebook channel, and what I'm thinking of doing is posting less in Facebook and posting all of my videos in YouTube. So it would behoove you to be subscribed to my YouTube channel because you won't miss a thing. Okay, so thanks so much for coming today. Hope you enjoyed these lovely layered cards from both the Cricut Design team and from designer Anna Griffin. And I hope to see you again soon, and I hope you make it a great day.